at the state of the fashion industry right now, where are we at in terms of the impact on the planet?
Well, there's 100 billion garments made every single year, which is about 14 garments per person. So, when you think about that, and you think about the volume that's being produced and how much we're consuming, it leads to all kinds of problems, especially waste. So that's the biggest thing that we see here in Canada, because we don't really make our clothes here anymore. So all of our clothes are ending up in the landfill. And we know that it's about 500,000 tons of our clothing that ends up in Canada's landfills every single year. But there's a lot of other impacts on the environment during the whole process of making our clothes, from the carbon emissions, depending on what the raw material is. So if it's cotton, it's grown with pesticides and fertilizers, and then it's shipped everywhere to be processed. If it's synthetic, it's made from crude oil, basically extracted, it's plastic, synthetics are plastic. And then there's all of the water pollution from all of the chemicals that are used. And a lot of the times factories are located in countries where there's really loose environmental laws, and they're located along the riverbanks, and they have these hidden pipes that just dump all that waste effluent into the rivers. So the problem is massive. And then there's also the social side, right? Because most garment workers are not paid a living wage. They're not even paid a minimum wage in many cases. It's a lot of women and children who are actually making our clothes. So yeah, there's lots of problems in the industry.
Whose responsibility is it to fix these problems? Is it the individual, or is it the companies?
Yeah, that's a complex question, because I think it's everybody's responsibility. You can't really point the finger at any one body. You can't just say it's the industry's problem or our problem. Also, government really needs to step in and play a role as well. The government could impose fines, or at the other side of things, incentives for Canadian companies to actually be using things like recycled fibers, or introducing some sort of a take-back program or reuse program. But as consumers, we really need to slow it down. We buy too much stuff. We buy 60% more clothes today than we did 20 years ago, and we keep our clothes for half as long. So if we can just stop buying, even if we just buy 2 items less per year, collectively that actually really adds up. But the other thing we can do as consumers is just try and keep our clothes in use for as long as possible, whether that's handing them down, swapping them, or taking better care, repair, that kind of thing.